We're here at the Manufacturer Studio on day 2 of Smart Manufacturing Week at the NEC in Birmingham. I'm joined by Sofia, who is Smart Factory Product Management Lead at Mars, who is at the show to talk about scalable and sustainable digital factory transformation from local pilot to global standard. Welcome. Can you give me some background into your keynote session at the exhibition and some of the key themes?
So my keynote speak was very much focused around the pitfalls of when a global large manufacturing company decides to try a lot of new technology out, make pilots, try completely different technologies, and then decide on this solution now is going to be the one standard for the entire organization, for every single function and site. And from my experience, it is quite difficult to do this. And my points in my speak was around what do we need to think about in order for it to be successful and sustainable, meaning also stay after transformation.
Right. And do you think that sustainability is something that companies overlook when they're looking at digital transformation?
Definitely. I mean, sustainability absolutely has to do with environment and all that, but the sustainability that I also want to talk about is actually keeping the products that we have aligned to be the ones to cover a certain capability. So instead of just jumping out of this idea or jumping out of the product, having invested a lot of money and time and people and resources and material on something, and then say, well, no, we can't do it anymore, we're going to do something else instead, because there's always going to be a better and cooler solution out there, because technology is so fast that is always going to be something more interesting. And how do we keep it going and developing it and building it into a better and better solution as a living and breathing thing, rather than just tossing it away? So I think that is very often overlooked. We talk more about success than we talk about sustainability.
Yeah. When it comes to scale and sustainability, is there a balancing act that manufacturers need to sort of bear in mind?
Yes, because it might not be the most successful product that gives the best results, that is also the one that we'll be able to keep for the longest time. I think it's very much a balance between a tactical solution as well and a more strategic solution. So tactical solution might be the most successful at the moment, but we should probably talk much more about strategical relationships with vendors, strategical choices when choosing products, instead of just thinking for right now. And that would more lead to long-term success instead, which is really ultimately what we want. But it is difficult convincing organizations and factories to go that route, as that can be difficult when you need to report on certain values and certain benefits this year. No one really wants to talk about what happens in 5 years and 10 years. So, but yes, definitely that needs to be discussed much more.
Yeah, I guess leading on from that, what does culturally sensitive and locally customized approach to smart manufacturing look like?
So what I mean with culture sensitive is that when choosing to scale a product from a pilot, there's a massive difference in each location in terms of culture, interest, digital maturity, etc. So when scaling and putting down a scope that requires maybe 30 factories, etc., it is extremely crucial to think about where are all these locations in terms of maturity. Do they have the people? Do they have the resources? Do they have the time? Do they have the funding? Do they have the foundational IT and OT, data quality? There's so many aspects that needs to be looked at, and there needs to be a sensitivity around each and every location, instead of having a very much one-size-fits-all approach. I think we often call it off-the-shelf solution, which is great, but it often isn't. And without considering the differences of each location, there's a risk of that scaling program failing or taking longer than expected.
Yeah. And what would you say are the common pitfalls that you experience when companies are trying to bring in new technology like AI?
very common pitfall is that, which I kind of just mentioned, is that we're not looking at the foundational IT, if it's in place. So do we have some sort of harmonization layer or master data management or data lakes? Do we have data that is accessible, understandable, etc.? Wi-Fi and data quality. Do we really have all these boring things really in place before we add new technology like AI? Another aspect is the actual need and understanding, basically the people's understanding of success for an AI solution. Will it do magic within a week? Absolutely not. Will you see some changes within a year? Maybe. But it's not one of those typical, direct, very concrete implemented solutions that you can put on a line and you will see, well, yes, the vibration is less or something. Here it's more, you have also with AI to really work with the solution to make sure that the feedback loops are correct, etc., so that the solution actually evolves with time and gets better. It's very much a living, breathing thing rather than a static project that is just done after a couple of months. So I think the mindset and the foundations are the two main things.
Yeah. I guess to finish up, what would your sort of key bits of advice be for success when introducing these new technologies?
Well, to me, it needs to be some sort of accountability in terms of roles and responsibilities. Someone needs to take accountability for the fact that we have all the people in place, all the skills in place in order to support the solution. Secondly, it's around support. Do we have the technologies in place to be able to support? Do we have the data in place to be able to support an AI solution? And thirdly, do we have the right leadership in order to actually also put the processes in place? So the process I'm thinking around stage gate. Is this the tool that we're gonna use as the global standard or not? So leadership, accountability, support were my three takeaways from what manufacturing companies need to think about in order to adopt new technology.
Great, that's brilliant. Thanks so much.
Thank you.